Hello and welcome to day 7 of this trading series. This series is going to be reviewing for you guys all of the trades that were taken during the Season 7 Strategy Wars that was happening during the month of November in 2024. So I am going to be showing you guys day 7 of that. So that happened to fall on November 12th. And I will show you guys what this trade looks like. So just so you guys look at what the actual date is and all that. This is November 12th that it was taken, and it was like a 1 point, almost 8-ish reward. And as you guys can see, the markup is here on November. It's under November 13th if you're looking for it in the Trading Floors Discord, but November 12th is right up about what it was and why I took it is here. So this trade is going to show you guys a little bit about what we've been talking about all along so far. So, I am back on NASDAQ 100 on the 5-minute time frame. If you've been watching along, you know that we've had a pretty strong bullish bias going on for the first few days of this series. And then yesterday's video, if you were watching out of order or whatever, day 6, you can check out. The day 6, I did talk about having this change of momentum and like what was happening. So you can actually see the old trades are marked up here. You can see there was a nice strong bullish trade that had happened here, and then a switch of momentum did happen, and this was day 6's trade that I'm showing here. And then this is the trade that we're going to review today. All right, let's get into this trade. So we talked about having a change of momentum and that the bullish trend was probably dying off and a bearish structure was starting to form, market structure. This is all happening over here in that trade that was taken on day 6 in the 1-minute time frame. So this happened really early on, this change of structure that started happening. And clearly you can see the market to come down a lot more, way beyond where I even had my take profit. That is what happened for that remainder of that day. And then you can see what happens overnight during the Tokyo into the early London session. You start to consolidate, right? This we've been talking about all along during the story that this is kind of a pattern that happens. The movements will happen during New York and then consolidate and then another movement will happen. So we consolidated overnight. I come in, I just kind of mark what happened overnight, having the top of your consolidation zone as your resistance and having the bottom of that consolidation zone as your support. And then when I'm ready to come in to start trading, I was just kind of peeking like what is the market currently doing with that zone of consolidation. So at the time that I was getting in, we were kind of trading a little bit. Well, it was actually around, had finished down here, rejecting off of the support and pushing itself back up. And it was kind of trading like around in this area, a little higher towards the resistance zone. So this is something that you can sometimes get in at a better price or maybe a better position if you know what you're doing and you are willing to take a rejection off of a resistance versus waiting for a breakout from like the support here. You could wait, you could have waited for it to come and break out and down here, but you are potentially risking not being able to get a good price or the market and the momentum dying off before it would even get to your take profit. So sometimes, if you are an experienced trader and you can understand the consolidation and the different things that the market is doing, you might be comfortable getting in off of rejection of a resistance. In this case, I was. So here I'll walk you through the logic of it. We have a high here of this resistance area, and you had a rejection. The market comes down and pulls a little bit back into this area, but does not make a new high, doesn't come out of your resistance, and then it comes down to your support and test your support. It rejects a bit, comes back up into this resistance area. Again, not creating a new high up here, just kind of testing within this consolidation zone. And then, starts to form a really strong bearish candle here. Starts to become more bearish, volume coming into the market. And for me, because the rejection happened again, to me, this looks like at least a double tap on this resistance. I would argue a third tap on this resistance because if you're like looking at it in more of a zone of the price action, not necessarily like this exact number at this line. I usually look at it kind of like an area, like within that area, like, kind of like this general vicinity of price. So for me, this is a one, this is two, this is three. So to me, this looks more like a triple top type of situation happening at this resistance area of price. Some may say it's a double top. Either way, it rejects multiple times at this price point. And that second or third tap here, and then that super strong bearish candle for me was enough to see, like, you know what, we are probably going to start drop. So the bearish wave rider signal plus the strong bearish candle, the rejection off of the resistance, which is like now the second or third tap against it, also paired with the fact that we know that the momentum has shifted, kind of all created this whole story for me. Like, okay, I'm willing to get in here and take another sell. So I did get into a selling position. I kept my stop loss just at that previous level to the left that we had worked with prior. You can kind of see what I'm targeting here. The areas of price that I'm looking at and kind of even in this zone. So I was just kind of looking at that as my stop loss and then my entry point, and then my take profit was actually a bank number. If you look here, this 21,000 number, and it was just below this area. So going with the logic of making market structure where you would say like, here's your high, and then you come down and you make a low, and then you make a new lower low, and then we should, in a perfect scenario, if we are breaking out of consolidation, make a new lower low, which we ended up doing. And again, I wasn't trying to be greedy or target a ton. I just wanted to go slightly below this. And then I was just kind of thinking, like, where would the market pull to? What's the most logical thing for them to do if they're going to dip below here? And usually that would be like targeting a bank number. Banks don't like to do hard math. They want to go to a nice, easy, simple rounded number. So finding something like a rounded number sometimes can help give you an idea of like where they might pull to. So 21,000 made sense for me. And that's where I was looking to target for my take profit. That's why it ends up being kind of weird, like a 1.7-ish, I think a 1.8-ish reward by the time that I got in, like close to a 1.8-ish reward. So that was that. And you can see this like 21,000 number. So that is it for day seven's trade. That is why I took it, my thought process behind it, kind of continuing along with what I believe is a little bit of a bearish retracement of that really strong bullish overall move we've been seeing for all those days prior. So that was my logic behind that for the day seven trade of Strategy Wars season seven. All right, you guys, that is it for this video, and I will see you for day eight.